Plus, here's some positivity for today. Mace is back, at least for a few days. Steve Mason is back, and that's exciting. Meanwhile, Andy Kamenetsky continues his run. He's sitting in today for John Ireland. We'll get Mace's reactions on the game last night. Plus, what the Dodgers have been up to or not up to, will Mace be like Corporate Greg and Travis Rogers and cry about Justin Turner leaving? We'll find out. Welcome back, Mace. Mason and Ireland with Andy Kamenetsky, your Tuesday afternoon right now.
So, hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for being out there. Thanks for hanging in with us. Andy Kamenetsky filling in today. How was the show yesterday? It was you and the
loose.
Big CY. Was it loose?
It was loose.
I like that.
Loose show.
I like that. What number would you give it? 1 to 10, Bergman?
35.
35.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that amazing.
Why am I even here?
I don't know. You can go home.
It's pointless. So thank you for all of the very kind messages about my little puppy Fredo, who passed away on Sunday. It was all of the sudden we had just. This is so weird. So we had. He was in like an oxygen chamber, and because he had congestive heart failure. So they said, okay, he needs a walk right now. So we took him for a walk outside. We got to play with him, and we got to pet him, and he seemed like the normal old Fred. And then they put him back in the oxygen chamber, and we got a call almost right away, said, you got to come back. And he was gone. So it was, I mean, I go to pieces at this stuff. I mean, I just fell apart.
I have been there. I've been there fairly recently during the pandemic. We lost our cat that I had for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
It's brutal
to
go through this. What's interesting, though, the way you talked about this, Mace, it sounded like Fredo was hanging in for one last time with you and Juan.
He was. The vet said he had about 2 or 3 months to live.
Right.
And so, and it would have been a hard 2 or 3 months. So I thought he decided that he just wanted to exit for himself and for us.
My experience has been, I mean, and again, this is just brutal. Pets really do become part of your family.
Yeah.
But my experience has been when they start to get sick, they decelerate really quickly.
Yes.
Like, it's not like, you know, I had a grandmother who had leukemia, and she lived with leukemia for at least a decade before it really started becoming like a true problem. With animals, it tends to be a pretty quick descent.
Yeah, it was. And he's just the sweetest little guy. And, and we're going to miss him a lot. And as I mentioned with Travis and Sliwa, we are going to go right back in and get another dog. We're getting him tonight. His name is Sonny. We took that as a sign because Sonny is a character in The Godfather. So was Fredo. So was Enzo, our dog before that. When we saw Sonny, we were like, oh, that must be him. That must be the right guy.
You and I talked about this before the show because I had asked you, we got a second dog maybe a year and a half ago.
Yes.
Bobo, the dog that looks like James Garner.
Oh, yeah, right.
And
James Garner.
he does.
So
he looks
weird.
like James Garner.
It's so weird, yeah.
But I'm not wrong.
He does. No, he does.
But we took our little dog. We have a little dog who's a half Chihuahua, half Dachshund, we think.
Mm-hmm.
And we had him meet Bobo just to make sure they were compatible.
That's smart.
And I had asked you, did you do this with Sonny and Sophie? You said no.
No, because Sophie really doesn't like any dog. Here's the weird thing. Sophie's deaf. Okay, so she's 16 years old. She's a tank. We call her the tank because she has now outlived 3 dogs. She's just unbelievable. So she's deaf. So the way it works is she doesn't know if there's somebody at the door. Fredo would alert her that there was somebody at the door, so she would run to the door and bark with Fredo. So she misses. He was like her little guide dog, and so she needs another guide dog. So it's going to be Sonny. So I'm very pleased. And again, thanks for all the nice messages. And a lot of people have just had to put. I found out had to put their pets down, and I feel for you, and I'm right there with you. And it's a super hard.
You know what you guys always say, "Hail, fellow, well met."
Hail, fellow, well met. Fredo was just the best little fellow. All right, so here's weird. Bergman.
What did I do now?
Trying to send myself a package.
You're so silly.
So today they said, okay, we're going to send you a package because we got an endorsement coming up and we want you to see the product and all that stuff. And Bergman's like, okay, give me your address. I was like,
He could not figure out his address. He has no idea what his home address is.
I did not know my home address.
He had to actually get on the phone
With
and call Juan to ask what his address was.
What is our house number?
Like, it's one thing to forget your own phone number.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, that's probably it.
Seriously.
Probably it.
A lot of that going on.
Yeah.
To forget your own address?
Yeah. It came back to me as soon as Juan said it, but I was
as soon as I was told where I lived.
As soon as I
Wow.
blanked out. And here's the truth: from the moment Fredo passed away until this morning, I was stoned 24 hours a day. So I think that's part of what it was.
As opposed to,
I didn't want to feel my feelings. No, normally a couple hours is enough. I don't stay up. I'm not stoned 24 hours a day, contrary to what popular belief is. But I guess that's why I couldn't remember where I lived.
No, he's stoned before he gets here.
They're going to have to give me one of those little
here.
bracelets with my home address so I know how to get home.
Yeah, you can pin it to your shirt like you're a 7-year-old.
Like I'm a 7-year-old. If you find this person, bring him to his house. So Lakers last night, is a scheduled loss, right?
Basically.
Nobody played. No LeBron, no AD who's injured, no Westbrook, no Austin Reeves. I watched the game last night. It was just a game. And, Anthony Davis, we don't really have any sort of diagnosis on, do we?
No, and frankly, I find that disconcerting.
Yeah.
This injury, I believe, happened on a Friday.
Yep.
We still have not heard yet a diagnosis, much less how long he's estimated to be out.
Now, somebody said, I think it was Sham said a month, right?
Right. But it's a month for what has been very vaguely referred to as a foot injury.
Right.
It was also at least a month.
Well, is that what it was?
At
least a month?
A month,
oh,
yeah.
God.
Foot injury could be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And the idea that it's been, 96 hours, and it either hasn't been fully diagnosed where everybody agrees, or they have not found the right way to tell us.
Right.
That's a little unnerving to me.
It is. And he had obviously, I would argue probably that stretch that he had was the best stretch of his career.
He was a legit MVP candidate during that. If he had been able to maintain that moving forward, he would have been firmly in the MVP conversation unless the Lakers' record was so bad that people just won't vote for him because of it.
Did you buy that he was going to stay healthy all year?
No, I never
didn't either. I never bought that. Bergman, did you buy that?
No, you hope, and you see like, okay, here he goes. He's doing well. And, of course, it always the other foot drops.
No, and it brings me no pleasure to say that. Like, I'm not doing this in like a snarky street clothes, the way like Charles Barkley bags on AD.
Yeah,
I
hate
don't
that.
I don't like it
that.
either.
Or I saw like memes going around Mr. Glass.
Right.
All that stuff. I think that's all really, really mean. This is a guy's life, a guy's livelihood, a guy's health.
But he's clearly injury prone.
No question.
The idea. There are still people who debate the idea of whether AD is injury prone or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Who debates it? No, people will say, "Oh, it's bad luck." Well,
as opposed to what?
He
Every
runs
injury
into more bad luck than anybody.
What injury isn't bad luck?
Right. You're right.
Like they're all bad luck.
Yes.
Or like the idea, people be like, these are freak weird injuries. Like no, like
Rich Paul said it.
These are not weird injuries. These things that happened to him, like he didn't slip on the wet spot on the court and tear an ACL. Like that's a freak injury. These are all things that happen over the course of a game. Like a fan didn't run on the court and sock him and break his jaw.
Yeah, no,
that's a weird injury.
Correct.
Like
this was like a normal basketball injury.
His body does not respond well to injury. He does not recover quickly. Like this is also, I think, something people need to understand. It is not a slight at Anthony Davis's character. We're talking about him as a person. Like, this is not a matter of him wanting it bad enough.
He wants to play.
He's not mentally soft. He's not physically soft. It's his body doesn't cooperate. But it clearly doesn't cooperate.
It doesn't cooperate. It's so frustrating. And the text goes around right away, too. I get the text from Greg, and then I get the text from you, and then I get the text. A text goes around. It's terrible. I had somebody, when Anthony Davis was on his run, I won't say who, but in our fantasy basketball league, somebody offered me Anthony Davis straight up for Nikola Jokic. And I thought about it, and I thought about it.
Jokic.
Who did I say?
Jokovic.
Oh, yeah, Nikola Jokovic.
You're like Mia Jovovic.
Yeah.
Or...
What's my address again? Nikola Jokic. And I thought, he's great, but I can't do it. Can't do it. And that's exactly the reason why. All right, coming up next for you, there's a house on my street that looks like Chevy Chase, his house in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And I want to ask about that coming up for you. Also, Sean McVay, I was thinking last time, watching Sean McVay on the sidelines, and I had a thought, and it concerns me. That's coming up next for you. Mason, Ireland, 710 ES.
Favorite gift giver here in the office is John Ireland because he's rich and he gives you money.
It's really easy. John Ireland. He gives you money and he gives you a decent amount of it.
Emily, she gives the best gifts. She's thoughtful and gives it consideration. It's not quick and easy. She's a good gift giver.
Clinton Yates. He gives amazing gifts.
Raj just got, last year a guy got me some bourbon, so I think Travis kind of knows what to get.
I think Mason. He and I have a lot of similar interests. I'll just leave it at that.
Greg Bergman.
John Ireland is the guy. He's got the dough. He's got the gated community. I think I'd get the best gift from him.
I would like to get something from Chris Morales.
Definitely Scott Kaplan because he gives you gifts from his friends' companies and then asks you to post about it on social media.
Scott Kaplan, because it'll have cited written all over it, or going to be some bad material robe kind of thing he gave us last year, whatever it was.
Don't even finish the question. Sliwa.
Berg, because he doesn't stock his fridge very well, so I don't think he'd be that good at giving gifts.
I think Taylor probably is not going to care that much, so I'm going to go Taylor on that one. I'll go Taylor.
Sorry, Emily, but you probably just try to give me a Spotify account. I don't want that.
Steve Mason.
Alan Sliwa, no question. Alan Sliwa, don't want a gift from him. I don't think he's got good taste. He's got a Pixel phone. I mean, come on.
How about you behind the phone there, behind the camera?
I kind of like working this time of year. Do you like work? I mean, I'm sure you're like on full-on fill-in brigade, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an inconvenient time just in the sense that my daughter's home from school.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some juggling, trying to keep her occupied, keep her busy, because, my wife works full-time as well. So, I have mixed feelings about it. I like coming in because it's fun, and, I enjoy doing the work, and I want the work, but knowing that sometimes she's bored at home makes it a little bit difficult.
Do you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah. My wife is Christian.
Oh, okay, got it.
So, yeah.
Do you celebrate Hanukkah?
Yep.
You do?
We've been lighting the candles.
What
last
night
two
is
nights. This is going to be night number 3.
Night number 3. And do you give a good gift for each one?
Yeah.
Is it a mini gift or
It's
is
a mini
it a good
gift. You don't go whole hog every single
Just a dreidel?
night. Just a dreidel. Just a little gelt.
Is one of them the dreidel?
No, the dreidel's the thing you spin for the game. A dreidel would be a weird gift.
Oh, it would be. Okay.
Unless it was like like a really nice dreidel.
Yes.
That would be an odd gift.
Yes.
For Hanukkah.
So when you were a kid, Andy, did you get things like socks one night and a hat one night? That was what I got.
Yeah, you would get usually little things leading up to day 8 would maybe be the biggest, or day 1 could be the biggest.
Okay.
Yeah, it was your choice. It was my choice when I wanted the big gift.
Well, we've been letting my daughter just pick out, all the gifts are wrapped. So it's up to her to choose which one she wants on a random day.
Right.
She opened day 1. I had seen a Guns N' Roses T-shirt that I thought she would like. She likes Guns N' Roses.
Does she really? How old is she?
She's 11.
11 and she loves GNR?
She has awesome music
Wow.
taste. This made me so proud. A couple weeks ago, her music class in 6th grade, they had to do a project on guitarists.
Right.
And the kids around their class chose guitarists, and she told me the majority of kids chose either Taylor Swift,
Yep.
Harry Styles,
Yep.
or Drake. I'm like, does Drake even play guitar?
Yeah, no, Drake is not a guitarist.
I think that kid had to pick someone else.
Slash was the guy.
Yeah, she chose Prince. I was like, I am a great father.
You've really taught her well.
Yeah. She really she loves Prince. She loves Guns N' Roses. She likes Nirvana. She likes Stevie Wonder. She likes Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah. Nice. So here's a Guns N' Roses story. I don't know if I've ever told this. So when I was working, and there's not lie of the day, although it is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, so this has to be totally true.
It has to be totally true. So when Guns N' Roses played in Toledo, Ohio, I was the program director for the Top 40 station, and the rock station was the one that was presenting the concert. So it was WIOT Presents Guns N' Roses. So I had this crazy idea that I got a recording saying this: 93Q WRQN is proud to present Guns N' Roses. So it was a tape. I slipped the guy in the production booth this tape and gave him some money and said, do me a favor, play this right before the show. So even though it was a concert by the hard rock station in town, it came on at the very beginning. 93Q WRQN presents Guns N' Roses. Totally mind blanked him because we were so aggressive in those days. Bergman, did you ever work when it was one station against another?
I mean, we kind of have that a little bit. We
kind of.
Not really, though.
No,
yeah,
we like everybody there.
Yeah, I mean, so
we don't have that, do we?
I don't know. It was Spanish radio for me. It was different.
Yeah. But we totally commandeered their Guns
the
N'
music
Roses
industry,
concert.
especially back then,
More
it was
so.
all greased palms.
Oh, God. I'm telling you. So
I was in national radio, too, so national doesn't really
it's not
fight
really the
with
same.
any other national.
So there's a great record guy named Charlie Minor. Do you remember Charlie Minor? He was with A&M Records. And Charlie, if he wanted you to add a record, that was a really big thing, add this record. There was a 38 special record that he wanted me to play.
Hold on loosely?
No, it was 38 special. Was it? I can't remember the song. It was a ballad. It did go to number one. And I said, I'm not going to add it, Charlie. It's not right for this town. He said, let me fly you out here to talk about it. So he flew me out there, had dinner in Beverly Hills with Charlie Minor for the weekend. I was like, well, how do I not add the record? 38 Special will play the entire album. So it was all grease palms.
Yeah, speaking of people we like over the other station, Matt Money Smith. Great guy.
Yeah.
But, he spent years working at K-Rock, and
yes,
he's told stories before on the old late-night happy hour that Brian and I used to host, and I've heard him just talk about this in
Did
general.
you have him on the late-night happy hour?
Oh, yeah, we did have him on. We talked some Chargers, because he's
the voice of the Chargers.
He's the voice of the Chargers, but we also talked about his time in music, and, especially, like, K-Rock was a true tastemaker.
Yes.
With stations. Like, if you managed to get your record on K-Rock, you could end up with a massive audience really fast.
Oh, sure.
So, there was a lot of glad handing
I
going
remember that there was, when I was probably 19 years old, I wasn't yet the program director, and the record was Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You.
Oh, yeah.
And there was blow on my program director's desk. I mean, they were serious about you playing Sinead O'Connor. So, that was it was right on the cusp of sleazy. Right on the cusp of sleazy, the record business.
I think it passed
it probably
the cusp.
Did. So, Andy, we've got a house on our street where they have gone so crazy all out for Christmas. There are gigantic candy canes. There's an inflatable Santa Claus. There's all kinds of lights. Like every corner of the house has got lights. I do believe you could see it from space. So I would argue, and there's a guy next door who's put up like a modest little display, a few lights. If I lived next door to that guy, I would not put up any lights at all because you're going to look soft no matter what against gigantic Christmas lighthouse, right?
That's tough.
It's tough to be next door to one of those houses.
You feel inadequate. You feel like a man who has to use the blue pill.
Correct.
At that point.
Correct.
Like it really is a feeling of just inadequacy.
But unlike Halloween, where I hate all the decorations, I love all the Christmas decorations. You can keep them up well into January and right after January 1st.
That's interesting. You don't like the Halloween decorations?
I hate Halloween decorations.
Really?
Did you not hear the I hate Halloween riffs?
No.
Oh, God. Yeah, Bergman, Halloween.
You hate Halloween and you're crazy for it. But it's the same type of stuff. Like putting up the Christmas lights is the same thing as putting up the Halloween decorations.
No, Halloween decorations are ugly.
No,
Christmas
they're not.
lights are pretty.
We have a neighbor where I live a few blocks from us that for at least the last 4 years, but probably longer, has kept what I thought in the beginning were Halloween decorations, and it turns out this is just their house.
Right.
They have like a full-on Nightmare Before Christmas montage outside their house with like full-on Zero and Jack Skellington.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's cool.
It's fantastic.
Do they leave it up through Christmas because it can be both?
No, they leave it up, period.
Oh,
Wait
all
a
the
minute,
time?
all the time?
It's up year-round.
That's impolite.
that's
that's not cool. That's very impolite.
That's too much.
You don't leave. I don't want Jack
Impolite to
Skellington
who?
in July.
Impolite to who?
It's great,
impolite
but
to the neighbors.
they're just lazy.
Yeah, seriously. I'm just going to leave it up all year?
I'm biased. It's my daughter's favorite movie,
Sure.
so she loves
By the
seeing
way,
it.
his daughter has great taste.
She
Guns
really
N'
does.
Roses, Prince, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Honestly, Andy, you did a very good job.
Yeah,
with her.
you're a great dad.
Thank you.
Because those are all great movies,
Those-
great shows.
Yeah, great.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Wreck everywhere else.
Do you have Christmas lights up, Jorge?
Oh, no, I just put something on my patio. That's it, just a little bit.
That's it?
Yeah.
Do you cook for Christmas Eve?
No, not me.
Does
Brenda's mom or my mom does.
And then do you cook
What do
for
they do?
Christmas Day?
No, I don't
Well,
cook.
aren't you the great cook?
No, they're, well, come on. Yeah, moms and, in-laws do it better than I do.
Right. And are you a turkey on Christmas Day guy?
Nope.
What do you have?
Ham.
Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Not a ham guy.
Yeah, I'm not a
a
turkey
ham guy.
Sorry, it's too dry.
No. Yeah. Are you a turkey guy or ham guy?
Probably turkey more, but I agree they're both kind of overrated.
Those honey
Ham
baked,
is delicious.
Those honey baked hams cost about $150. It is
They are.
insane.
Well, that's part
But
of
they're
what I'm
so
talking
good.
about with overrated.
yeah,
and
but
they're giant.
honey baked hams. It is so expensive to have a honey baked ham.
So it's worth it.
You got you put it on layaway.
Yeah, just get a pork.
One time.
You make payments a little
don't
bit
even
at a
do
time.
that.
It's one time a year, mate.
You remember those days of layaway?
Layaway. Can you remember that?
Oh,
My
man.
mom would
That
always
still
have
exists.
something
Trust
on
me.
layaway.
Just get a pork shoulder and dress that
Man,
thing
just
up.
some carne asada.
Yeah,
done deal.
tastes better.
So we have Ireland always makes fun of this, but we have Night of the Seven Fishes. My mom's side of the family is Italian, so on Christmas Eve you try to have 7 different fishes.
Ooh.
And so we did it successfully 2 years ago. We're going to try to do it again this Friday night. It's hard to round up 7 fishes.
That sounds really good.
Oh, it's so good.
Now, can you go like crustaceans, things
Yep.
like that? All right.
Crustaceans, clams, oysters.
That sounds fantastic.
No, it's
Tuna?
really good.
Tuna? Seared tuna?
Yeah, we got a great Japanese market in our neighborhood, which is fantastic. They've got great sashimi. So we'll do the 7 fishes. My mom, this is an ambitious Christmas. My mom, not stepdad Leo, are going to be at our house on Friday. Then on Saturday, Juan's dad and stepmom are going to be at the house. And then we're going to go to the Christmas Day game, Russell Wilson versus Baker Mayfield, which sounds better than it really is. And then...
Does it really sound better?
Yeah, I mean, Baker gave us something interesting, a shiny
4
object
years
to
ago,
watch.
that would have
Kind
sounded
of.
exciting.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
So I want to talk about coming up something about Sean McVay, because I was looking at him on the sidelines last night. We're going to do that. Plus, we're going to spin the wheel of questions. It is my wheel today. We will do that coming up for you. Hey, imagine if you are...
What color is Rudolph's nose?
Come on, Keith.
It's red.
It's red.
There you go. Who did Michael Jackson see kissing Santa Claus?
His mother.
No, mommy.
Mommy.
I saw mommy.
A mother, but I
kissing
said mother,
Santa
mommy,
Claus.
same thing.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Good.
Mommy, mother, kissing
Well,
Santa
it's
Claus.
mommy. It's not mother.
Well, it's the same thing.
How do you say Merry Christmas in Spanish?
Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, that's right. Feliz Navidad. I knew that in elementary school. What am I thinking?
You worked with producer Jorge for years. He
Yeah,
taught you.
true.
He taught you.
Name Santa's reindeers. Oh boy.
Oh God, yeah. So you got Rudolph, Pixar or somebody like that.
Blixen.
Blixen.
Donner.
No, not the Donner.
No.
No.
Oh.
No. Blixer or Flixer or something.
We got Rudolph.
Rudolph. Flixer. Man, I don't remember.
Finish the lyrics. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know.
My Christmas. No, Mariah Carey.
Yeah, but finish the lyrics.
All I want
One
for
you
Christmas
is you. Yeah, Mariah. I knew it was Mariah.
Good job, Keith.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and thanks for tuning in each and every single morning on 710 ESPN.
Radio, Mason and Ireland here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Wheel of Questions is presented by our friends at Puente Hills Toyota. Got a car that's just sitting around not being used? Bring it to Puente Hills Toyota today for an instant cash offer. Puente Hills Toyota, the house of yes. Producer Jorge, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it!
All right, here we go. Spun the Wheel of Questions. Spun it. Spinned it. One of those two things.
Span it?
Yeah, span it. Here's the question. Andy Kamenetsky in for John and Bergman and Jorge. Would you rather live for another 80 years and never leave your house, or live for another 10 years and be free to go wherever you want? 80 years in your house or 10 years free?
See, this is a complicated question if you have a child.
Yes.
Because
it's so hard.
You want to see your child grow, and you want to see everything that happens in as much of their life as possible.
Yes.
So in that sense, I'm going to end up choosing the 80 years just because I want to see my daughter grow. If I were
How old are you now?
50.
So you would be 130 years old.
Yeah.
You would see your daughter grow up,
Andy, you're 50?
get married,
Yeah.
have
You don't even look
grandkids.
50, dude.
Well, thank
I
you.
could have said you'd like 42.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I had you at
Jeez.
48.
No, I'm aging, I think, pretty well.
Yeah, no, you're doing okay.
Thank you.
Keep drinking that water.
So you would take 80 years in the house.
because of my daughter. Now, if you're asking me objectively, let's say I have no kids, no family that I have to look after, which do I choose? 10 years, no problem. Living past 100 sounds, to be honest, kind of awful.
It doesn't say that you'll have a high-quality life, low-quality life.
Well, by definition, once you start hitting like 115, your quality of life ain't going to be that good. You can barely do anything for yourself at all.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to know where you are. You're always in danger of breaking something. Like, it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about what you're talking, because I'm in the same position as you. My daughter's 11, Riley's 11, your daughter's 11.
Yep.
We are in the exact same position. 10 years would put her at 21, both of them.
Yep.
And so we wouldn't be able to walk them down the aisle. We wouldn't be able to do any of that
true.
stuff. So, but the problem is that you're now going to see them pass, most likely, in those 80 years.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
I would
a
have, and then
different-
not only would I not be able
dark,
to go,
Greg.
it's dark, but it's true. It's part of the
Yeah.
question. Like, I wouldn't be able to go to her funeral. I wouldn't be able to go to her wedding. I wouldn't be able, if she was in jail, I wouldn't be able to get her out. If she was at a party
You're
drunk,
not
I wouldn't be able to go pick
anticipating
her
jail,
up.
are you?
No, but
That's
it's
a
possible.
weird thing to throw out.
I won't be able to visit her through
It's
the
things
glass.
that happen. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
I
I would.
little phone and talk to her through the
I
plexiglass.
can't go
I'll
out.
ask about her celly.
I can't go outside and do anything with her. So if I get those 10 years of having a great life with her, being able to travel with her, doing all these other things,
Yeah.
I think I'd much rather take the 10 years specifically and
Okay.
make them the best I possibly can.
All right. Jorge, what about you? Same thing. You've got a little girl.
Yeah, I know. I'm with Andy. I'll take the 80 years.
Take the
Well,
80.
see, it's different because Maite's what, 4?
She's 4.
Yeah, so that's 14. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Too early, too young to be.
I mean,
like,
but
I'm
it's we're talking a difference of 7 years.
But still,
with
like at
another
21,
80.
you're an adult. Like you're in college, you're more of an adult.
Your life ended at 21, essentially.
No, I'm just saying, like you actually, like, they'll be able to process it a little bit better than at 21, than at
Right.
14.
I think it's an easy answer. I think especially year of our Lord 2022, I'd stay at home for 80 years. I'll take 80 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can do anything at home now. I mean, the way technology's going, you could probably put on a pair of goggles and you'll feel like you're at the Eiffel Tower or feel like you're at some famous tourist place.
So I wouldn't be able to go to grocery stores, nothing. I have to
Correct.
stay
Nothing.
home.
Have to stay in the house.
Okay, yeah, I can do it.
That sounds like an awful life.
It does. Although,
Okay.
You think so?
No, well, no. Jorge,
Yeah.
Maite wants to play soccer with you outside.
Yeah.
Nope, can't do it.
Backyard.
No, you can't go. You're inside. You're stuck inside.
Inside. You'd have to.
You cannot
Okay,
play soccer with
Very
her.
small.
turn to a
a
living room
very
or
small
something.
pitch. in the
Here's a
living room.
wrinkle. Here's a wrinkle. Do you get to choose your house, or is it your current house?
I
assume
again,
current.
I assume it's your current house. It's that.
Okay.
I would lose my mind inside, and I don't think that she would. Because then it's a burden on her, too. Like, oh, I got to go over to Dad's house. He can't go outside.
Well, I had a story about this.
Well, no,
but-
Dad can't take it. She's only going to be like, she's going to spend most of her time as like a kid or a teenager. It's, well, Dad can't take me here. Dad can't take me there. He's a shut-in.
When she's 40 and I'm still inside, she's not going to be able to go out to come.
No, you become a creepy father.
Yeah,
Leave the
no.
house.
Yeah, exactly. So is that what you want?
So I had a story. Well, my computer's broken today, so I don't have any. I'm just making stuff up as we go. And I had a story about a guy who goes to the gym every day. He's 100 years old. He goes to the gym every day for 3 hours. He drinks a martini before bed, and he is 100% healthy. Gets in the car, drives himself to the gym. You can have really high quality of life even when you get to be 100 years old.
That sounds more exception than the rule for 100-year-olds. Going to the gym 3 hours a day. I mean,
3 hours a day
most
to
people,
the gym at 100.
most people our age don't go to the gym 3 hours a day.
I occasionally get 20 minutes on the elliptical, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're stuck inside, are you really going to be working out?
I
for 3
would
hours a
have
day?
to have workout machines in my house, right?
Yeah, you'd have to.
That
Would
would
you
be part
use
of it.
them?
No,
You
but
know,
do you have any?
as often
Wait.
as you use your Peloton.
Do you have any right now?
Yeah, I have a bike. I have one of those bikes where
Elliptical
the
bike.
arms
Yeah.
go like this.
Well, here's the other thing, too. If you're stuck in all the time, it means the people living with you are going to get so tired of you, and they're going to leave all the time because they can.
They're allowed to.
They're just going to be ditching you constantly
That's true.
in the house.
Yeah.
So I mean, all you do is arguing my side now for the 10 years. That's better for the 10
it's
years.
better. Oh, you're saying live free and die.
Die hard at 10,
Live
after
free
10 years.
and die hard.
After 10 years.
So last night I'm looking at the Rams game, and obviously this is not a fun game to look at. It was offensively we are completely lost. It's just hard to believe that is Sean McVay's offense, but he has used so many offensive linemen. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it was fair to judge Matthew Stafford based on that offensive line. I don't think it's fair to judge Baker Mayfield necessarily by that offensive line. But I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, is he going to go to Amazon? Is this it, maybe?
I'm guessing no, only because I don't think Sean McVay wants to go out like that.
You think he'd come back for that?
I don't think you want to go out that bad. It'd be one thing if he finished like 9-8.
Yeah.
And it was just sort of a dreary 9-8. This is just terrible. Like, do you want this to be your last season in the NFL? This?
Yeah. It's a Washington Post article. I don't subscribe, so I can't read the article.
Oh, I can look for it.
Can you? Do you subscribe?
I do, actually.
I just have that big thing that says subscribe or else. You will not be able to read this article.
Democracy dies in
But the
darkness.
headline is, as the Rams struggle, Sean McVay's future remains murky.
At least you're not outside and asking to pay for a hoodie. Right, Andy?
That was the worst.
Wait, I don't know that story.
Okay. When I used to do, for like a season or season and a half, I did the pregame for USC.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And yeah, I loved it, actually.
Is that before or after me?
It was after you.
Okay.
It was me and Chris Hale.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a really fun show, and Jorge was our producer.
Nice.
And there was a game that we did. You know, the home games we'd do at the Coliseum.
So you were all Clay Helton, right?
I was Clay Helton.
Yes. I was Pete Carroll with a little bit of Clay.
Timing is everything.
Some Lane, some Sark, and then some Clay.
Timing
I got
is everything.
the triumvirate there.
But,
So go ahead.
So the game that day was unusually cold. Like, I did not expect it to be that cold. And I was just in short sleeves. And next to us, the LA Times was doing some type of subscriber event, trying to get people to do it. And if you subscribed, they would give you a sweatshirt.
Okay.
So I went up there and looked to subscribe again or just buy a sweatshirt. They would not let me subscribe again to get a sweatshirt.
Really?
Or even sell me a sweatshirt. I said, can I just buy a sweatshirt for the price of a subscription? They said, no. I'm like, you guys are out here begging for money. I'm offering to give you $25 just so I can have a sweatshirt. And they refused to take it.
Wow.
Yeah. It was insane.
Wow. I was just thinking the exact same thing. Wow. Yeah, that's just...
And then even Jorge or Jesse, they couldn't buy me a sweatshirt because they all knew that it was for me. Like, these LA Times people became very territorial about, you need to properly get a subscription or else you can't have this sweatshirt. And I'm like, I am a subscriber. You should be giving me this sweatshirt because
it should be a freebie, like the Sunday paper.
I'm like, you are punishing me for having subscribed at this point.
You should have canceled your subscription
On
and
the
then
spot,
did it again.
And then resubscribed for the hoodie.
It's aggravating.
That's a frustrating story.
Do you think that Sean McVay just doesn't work as hard right now that he did in like years past?
I
Like
do not.
he's not there till 3:00 in the morning going over game film right now, right? Like he has kind of a set plan. He's like, all right, I'm going to spend more time with my fiance or wife now, right?
That's an interesting question.
Like he's not going to do all the coach stuff that he's done
But
in
he's
years
such
past.
a work ethic guy. I think you actually have to coach more
Do you?
and harder when there's a bad team to keep everybody together. Don't you?
Well, yeah, but that's when they're all there. But not everybody's there all the time. Like you're not staying late anymore, right? You're going to go home and you're going to spend some time with the wife.
He's watching Russell Wilson film right now. He's breaking it down.
I'm sure that is not a thing.
That can't last that long.
Right. He doesn't play very
he's
much
gonna
anymore
watch
either.
every good play from Russell Wilson this year.
So like
And then I'll be home at 2.
I mean, that'll kill 30 minutes, and then you got a lot of the day left.
Exactly right.
You can just YouTube that.
Boy, that's going to go down as a horrific contract.
I tried to argue that with you from the very beginning.
And I agreed.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was going to be a good deal.
Wow.
I talked about the quarterbacks in the division. You think Derek Carr and Pat Mahomes and
Derek Carr
Justin
didn't do much
Herbert
either.
and
Have you noticed, too, by the way, how many of Wilson's peers are, like, openly dancing on his grave?
Yes.
They are loving this.
People don't like him.
He's like
He's
the Rudy
weird.
Gobert of the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he does weird things, like he practices high fives when he's leaving the building.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
What was the other thing? He had like dinosaur blood or something like that. What
Oh
was it?
yeah, that was that one. And then you're in trouble when you throw a birthday party and half the team doesn't show up.
Right.
Come to my birthday party. Oh,
Franchise quarterback.
A light showing. A light showing.
Did the offensive line show up? That's kind of the big deal there, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
But, I mean, his peers around the league openly dislike him. Like, they are enjoying him having a bad season.
Well, Richard Sherman's been going after him. Did you guys ever play that weird Richard Sherman exchange?
No.
Oh, we should get that. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah. Search Richard Sherman awkward interview.
Okay.
It's a great one. It's a great one. We'll do that coming up. Also, I want to talk about people who are bougie. Did you watch The White Lotus?
I did not. No, I
So
want to
good.
watch. I want to watch.
It's
it.
so good. So
I
we
do
won't
want to watch.
we
it.
won't give anything away, but it's people being bougie.
Yeah, I know that part.
And I found some examples of people being even bougier than the ones on White Lotus. So that's coming up for you. We'll also do some Lakers coming up. Andy's got a bunch of great Laker angles. Again, Anthony Davis, we don't exactly know the prognosis. Last night they lose in Phoenix. Wednesday night they've got Sacramento up there. Do we have Ireland this week? Is Ireland coming on?
Ireland will be here tomorrow and Thursday.
Excellent. So we got that coming up for you. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
What color is Rudolph's nose?
Come on, Keith.
It's red.
It's red.
There you go. Who did Michael Jackson see kissing Santa Claus?
His mother.
No, mommy.
Mommy.
I saw mommy.
A mother, but I
kissing
said mother,
Santa
mommy,
Claus.
same thing.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Good.
Mommy, mother, kissing
Well,
Santa
it's
Claus.
mommy. It's not mother.
Well, it's the same thing.
How do you say Merry Christmas in Spanish?
Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, that's right. Feliz Navidad. I knew that in elementary school. What am I thinking?
You worked with producer Jorge for years. He
Yeah,
taught you.
true.
He taught you.
Name Santa's reindeers. Oh boy.
Oh God, yeah. So you got Rudolph, Pixar or somebody like that. Blixen.
Donner.
No, not the Donner.
No.
No.
Oh.
No. Blixer or Flixer or something.
We got Rudolph.
Flixer. Man, I don't remember.
Finish the lyrics. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know.
My Christmas. No, my Mariah Carey.
Yeah, but finish the lyrics.
All I want
for you Christmas is you. Yeah, Mariah. I knew it was Mariah.
Good job, Keith.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and thanks for tuning in each and every single morning on 710 ESPN.
ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
It is Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN. Don't get it twisted, yo. The most downloaded sports radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the number one most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The number one most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. And we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I brought Christmas back. Nobody used to say Merry Christmas. Now I'm the one that says Merry Christmas.
You ended the war on Christmas.
I ended the war on Christmas.
Good for you.
I do it every year. I end the war on Christmas every single year. Is that me?
Yep, sure
was. Feedback?
Yep, headphones.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for listening. Andy Kamenetsky's in for John today. And if you watch The White Lotus, and damn, that's a good show, it's all about people behaving really, really snooty and rich and bougie. And so I came across this story about people who are even snootier and richer and bougier than the characters on White Lotus. So I want to read you some of these. Here you go. The wealthiest person I know once said to me, "Oh, you get seasonal depression? Why don't you just go to the Caribbean for a week and the Mediterranean the next? It always helps me."
Sure. Get right on that.
Easy. That's easy. I was talking to a friend's mom at a party. She said to me, "You know, after 6 weeks in our Tuscan villa, you honestly get bored of having people wait on you all day. I was so ready to just pick up my own dish and wash it."
Can relate.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the bougiest person you know?
Bougiest person I know? I haven't seen her in a long time.
Yes.
There was a girl that I knew through a friend of mine in college who was just insanely wealthy. And as an example of this, the first cat that I ever got originally was hers. It was a purebred Abyssinian, and those are actually really expensive cats. Like they look like sphinxes, like ancient Egypt.
Cool.
She had this cat for like a week and a half, decided she didn't like it. She probably paid $2,000 or $3,000 for this cat. Decided she didn't like it, and her plan was, I'm just going to let the cat go. I'm just going to let the cat wander off around L.A., and my friend was like, well, before you go through with that, I think Andy wants a cat. Let me see if Andy would take in this cat. So this was like a $2,000 or $3,000 cat that she just decided after. She probably bought the thing on a whim, because $2,000 or $3,000, what does she care? And then like a week later, it's like, I don't like the cat. And she was going to dispose of it like she would dispose of anything.
Right.
She was really, really rich.
Like, so what's the bougiest thing you do or have?
Bougiest thing I do?
Yeah.
I'm not a super bougie person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. That's an interesting question.
I get illy every day. Is that bougie?
It's a little bougie.
It's a little snooty. It's
on
the bougie side.
But don't you have an illy hookup though?
I mean, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I used to have that illy hookup.
It's a great hookup.
Oh yeah,
but it's also better coffee, so I'm willing to pay for it every single day.
Yeah, you are always anti-Starbucks.
Well, because it's not good.
Starbucks is fantastic. We all drink it.
No,
it's great.
You can have at it.
No, you guys can have it. Yeah.
It's
not good.
What's the bougiest thing you have, Jorge, or do?
Me? Nah, nothing.
Yeah, you're not really bougie.
Nah, I'm very simple.
Yeah, Bergman. What about you?
I just told you I go to Illy every day.
That's it. So I don't think I'm especially bougie, although I do spend a lot on hoodies.
Do you?
I've got a hoodie for every team.
What's a lot?
I was totally joking.
No, I didn't know if you had.
No, totally. Like I don't fly first class. I don't do any of the really naturally bougie stuff. And I probably could. But I grew up in a family that was kind of lower middle class, and we were always very conscious of money. My mom used to say all the time, your dad could lose his job and we'd be on the streets in 3 weeks. So that stuck in my head. I'm like, oh my God, we're just 3 weeks away from the streets. My mom told us.
Comforting for a 7-year-old.
I was like a little kid. We're 3 weeks and we're on the streets. I found this clip. Danny Pudi, who is an actor from Community and an actor from Mythic Quest. Have you ever seen that show? He was on the podcast today, and I pulled up this clip for him, and it's Larry King. He's on some Larry King talk show, and this was pretty late in Larry's life. It was probably a year before Larry passed away. And this is his moment with Danny Pudi.
A luxury you can't live without.
A luxury I can't live without. Coffee. I really like good
It's not
coffee.
a luxury you can get it anywhere.
I guess, yeah, I like good coffee.
I love coffee too.
I like nice socks.
Socks. Your socks, would you put in your shoes?
Yeah, I really love them. I like kind of like, cozy feet.
You're attracted to your socks.
I'm attracted to really nice running socks. Like, I'm always looking for good running socks.
That's not a luxury, though. Coffee and socks are not a luxury.
All right, give me a luxury. What luxury should I have?
Private plane.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.
I mean, what's happening there is Larry King, whether intentionally or unintentionally, knowingly, unknowingly, is just letting you know I'm filthy rich.
Yeah, no, Larry's definitely
I am
got it going.
super
Private
rich.
plane. I can't do without my private plane.
I don't think Larry did a lot of research before
None.
things either.
By the way, that was the whole thing with Larry.
Right.
The whole thing with Larry was he would never watch the TV show, see the movie, or read the book for his guests because he said, I don't want to know more than the audience does. So Larry's first question would always be like, so what's the movie about? It would be such a generic question.
I mean, we played it not too long ago, but he had Seinfeld on. Remember he had Jerry Seinfeld on?
Seinfeld.
Yeah, and he would just Jerry lost his mind.
Right.
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? Do you think Seinfeld got canceled?
Right. Larry King presented Seinfeld as having gotten canceled. He's like, Larry, we're the #1 show on TV. We've decided to end this thing.
Yes.
All things end.
I loved Larry King. I grew up watching Larry King.
Do you remember
watching and listening?
Do you remember years ago? It was during the Ray Rice incident.
Okay.
With him and his then fiance, now wife, and the domestic abuse in the elevator. He wanted to put a panel together to talk about this on his show that was on that different network, like OTA or Opa? Aura.
Yeah.
And he had originally asked you to do it. You couldn't do it, so you recommended me.
Oh, that's right.
And I went on the show, and I thought I did actually a very good job.
Did he ask you what's a luxury item?
No, he did not. We kept on topic.
Yeah.
But a couple things. First of all, it's intimidating to sit down with Larry King.
Sure.
Because he's Larry King. But the other thing, though, that I was concerned about, because I had heard before, and maybe it was from you, that he does no research for anything. I'm like, I really hope.
Who is Ray Rice?
I was like, I really hope he's doing research for this show.
Yeah, really.
Because this is a really
A
serious
delicate topic, yeah.
He got a real kick out of it. There's a book that I read years ago written by one of his childhood friends called Tough Jews.
Yeah.
And it was about how he and Larry King and a bunch of their friends grew up in Brooklyn surrounded by all these Jewish members of organized crime.
Oh, wow.
And like their life being around all of that. And I told him that I had read that book, and he absolutely was tickled by that. He loved that.
Yeah. No, Larry's a great guy. We had him on during the pandemic. He was so
he was
funny.
He was great, and the show was great. But again, it's intimidating. But I was really worried. Like, please have done some research.
Dude was married like 9 times.
I know.
That's crazy. How many times are you going to go, Bergman?
Never.
2.
Okay,
Got to
2.
be one more.
The heiress.
Got to be one more. The heiress.
Yeah,
All right,
I
so
think I'm done with that.
let me. Are you done with it?
Yeah, the heiress is done. I think I'm done with it.
Are you just?
It's Tuesday.
Are you just going to go with love?
Yep.
Nice.
Love's going to keep me together.
I knew I would get this. Ireland, I can just picture his dance right now.
Why you lip like that, man? We don't...
Oh, you're.
Oh, he's biting the lip.
No, I'm doing the Ireland. I'm doing the Ireland.
Well, you got to look up.
Then he notices people see him.
He pushes away. Exactly. That's the big thing. All right, so I wanted to ask you a little bit about the Lakers. Last night was a scheduled loss. They got blown out at Phoenix. No surprise. Arguably the best team in the West that they faced last night. And it was second night of a back-to-back, so LeBron didn't play. That's a maintenance day, I would assume. Austin Reeves has an injury of some kind,
He
right?
turned his ankle against the Wizards.
Okay, and Westbrook apparently had an injury.
Yeah, that one I had no idea about.
I didn't know about
I
it.
don't know if it's maybe something that had been bothering him a bit, and it's like, well, if you're going to be sitting LeBron, sitting Reeves, AD's out, might as well just let Russ heal up a bit because they're not going to win this game anyway.
Right, exactly.
But as far as something bothering Russ, that was the first I had heard about it.
So the big question now is, well, do you make a deal given that Anthony Davis is hurt?
There's two parts to this question. One, what are you making the deal for? Are
Right.
you making the deal for this season? Are you making a deal that is really about next season? Like you're bringing someone in that you think, or people in that you think will be a part of next year?
Right.
And you're basically just you're hitting the ground running no matter what happens with this season?
Yeah.
But the other part of the question is, does the front office and Jeannie Buss still believe in LeBron and AD as a foundation? Because it has felt to me throughout this offseason and this season that we're in right now that they have some doubts. Because they certainly have not aggressively pursued trades or been willing to just throw caution to the wind. And look, maybe they can't get the deal that they want. Maybe they have been trying, whatever. But in years past, like, for example, bringing in Russell Westbrook, which is an aggressively risky move.
Oh, sure.
They did that when they had Buddy Hield right there for the taking.
Made a choice
for less assets.
Potentially DeMar DeRozan was sitting there, too.
Possibly. I think that was complicated, but still possibly. This year, they have not been as aggressive with this, dealing with limited assets. Maybe it's because they're trying to be really careful, find something perfect, but are they losing some faith in LeBron and AD?
Yeah. Yeah, I read an article. Some guy from USA Today said the Lakers missed an opportunity to trade Anthony Davis at his peak value.
That was the argument I had, I know, on various shows here, but also debating my brother on the Locked on Lakers podcast. 5 days a week, man.
5 days a week.
Yeah, you can find it anywhere you get
by
the
way,
podcast.
I listen to it regularly. I sometimes comment on your YouTube page.
There is a YouTube component.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I like that.
You under a burner name? We never see your name.
I am.
Nice. But, Brian would always say, if you trade AD now, you're trading him at his lowest value. And my response was, not necessarily. Because if he gets hurt again, going to cost a first round. I could be wrong. Detroit only had to move Kelly Olynyk to get Bogdanovich.
Right.
But I am guessing that the price is going to go up for Bogdanovich. There's going to be teams around the league that want him. A lot of teams are bunched together, especially in the West. And Bogdanovich now isn't a walkaway threat because he got extended.
Right, correct.
So I think
he would be here for next year. You've got to respect the three.
Oh, yeah. Look, they need more outside shooting. They need more wing-sized guys, period. I mean, it's among the reasons that they've been linked to Kyle Kuzma.
Right. And Kuzma,
he's going to be at least a first-round pick. He will. Kuzma is worth a first-round pick. Most first-round picks don't turn into a player as good as Kyle Kuzma. The most of them don't.
Right. And Kuzma's come into his own. First of all, here he started playing committed defense.
Yeah.
And then he's in Washington, he's scoring. And, the Lakers, specifically with Anthony Davis out, could use a secondary scorer like Kuzma.
But to me, if you're...
Or Bogdanovich.
Right. And if you bring in Kuzma, that could be a move for this year. But if you trade that first-round pick to him, you have to be committed to the idea of we are going to re-sign to him. Like, he would become your off-season acquisition now.
Right.
Same thing with if you go for Bogdanovich now. He is your off-season acquisition now.
So you think those guys require first-round picks?
Yeah.
What about, obviously, DeRozan, Levine, those would require first-round picks?
Require both your first-round picks.
Yeah, those require both. What about Buddy Hield? Can you get him without a first-round pick?
It's slightly more possible just because I think his contract isn't considered as good, but I would be surprised.
If it didn't require a first-round pick?
Not shocked, but surprised.
Well, I guess you could burn one.
But then you get into the question
one.
You start getting into the question of what are you keeping that second one for? Like what exactly?
For another edition.
For another edition.
Yeah. You save it, you keep your powder dry for next summer.
Yeah.
Where do you think this team's at right now? Anthony Davis without a month, going on the road. I mean, to me, it's a
tough stretch.
It's a really tough stretch. And it seems like they are on the road all the time.
They are. And here's one thing I will say positive about this team. They fight way harder than last year's team. I think they're a better team than their record. Like when they were 2-10, they were better than a 2-10 team.
Right.
I think this team is better than a group that's, I believe, now 5 games below 500.
Yes.
But they're nowhere close to elite.
No, they're nowhere close.
They're not a front runner.
And particularly without AD. Nowhere nowhere close.
Right.
To
So again, you start thinking about: are you making a trade? Is it solely for this year? Is it for this year and next year? Or do you start thinking that your best options could come in the offseason and you just ride out this season wherever it goes? Or do you have any reservations because you don't fully believe in LeBron and AD?
Right. Hey, Bergman.
Yes, sir.
Do you mind if we take a couple calls?
Absolutely. Go ahead. I don't mind.
I know I'm asking.
I know. I've never
permission.
seen you ask me before.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
It's weird. So you heard,
but I appreciate it.
You heard us lay
You should
out
always
sort
ask.
of the multiple scenarios: first-round pick, Bojan Bogdanovic, first-round pick, Buddy Hield, maybe. Do you burn a first-round pick in a year where Anthony Davis is hurt for a month plus, and they have the potential of drifting out?
He is not a quick healer.
Or do you take those picks and save them for the summer? 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-ESPN. Mason in Ireland. Andy Kamenetsky in for John 7.
Favorite gift giver here in the office is John Ireland because he's rich and he gives you money.
It's really easy. John Ireland. He gives you money and he gives you a decent amount of it.
Emily, she gives the best gifts. She's thoughtful and gives it consideration. It's not quick and easy. She's a good gift giver.
Clinton Yates. He gives amazing gifts.
Raj just got, last year a guy got me some bourbon, so I think Travis kind of knows what to get.
I think Mason, he and I have a lot of similar interests. I'll just leave it at that.
Greg Bergman.
John Ireland is the guy. He's got the dough. He's got the gated community. I think I'd get the best gift from him.
I would like to get something from Chris Morales.
Definitely Scott Kaplan because he gives you gifts from his friends' companies and then asks you to post about it on social media.
Scott Kaplan, because it'll have cited written all over it, or going to be some bad material robe kind of thing he gave us last year, whatever it was.
Don't even finish the question. Sliwa.
Berg, because he doesn't stock his fridge very well, so I don't think he'd be that good at giving gifts.
I think Taylor probably is not going to care that much, so I'm going to go Taylor on that one. I'll go Taylor.
Sorry, Emily, but you probably just try to give me a Spotify account. I don't want that.
Steve Mason.
Alan Sliwa, no question. Alan Sliwa, don't want a gift from him. I don't think he's got good taste. He's got a Pixel phone. I mean, come on.
How about you behind the phone there, behind the camera?
What color is Rudolph's nose? Come on, Key.
It's red.
It's red. There you go. Who did Michael Jackson see kissing Santa Claus?
His mother.
No, mommy.
Mommy.
I saw mommy.
A mother, but I
kissing
said mother,
Santa
mommy,
Claus.
same thing.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. Mommy, mother, kissing
Well,
Santa
it's
Claus.
mommy. It's not mother.
Well, it's the same thing.
How do you say Merry Christmas in Spanish?
Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, that's right. Feliz Navidad. I knew that in elementary school. What am I thinking?
You worked with producer Jorge for years. He
Yeah,
taught you.
true.
He taught you. Name Santa's reindeers. Oh boy.
Oh God, yeah. So you got Rudolph, Pixar or somebody like that? Blixen.
Donner?
No, not the Donner.
No?
No. No. Blixer or Flixer or something.
We got Rudolph.
Flixer. Man, I don't remember.
Finish the lyrics. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know.
My Christmas. No, my.
Flying blind today.
Do you not have access through like a document cloud or anything like that?
No.
Wow.
No.
Quite the Luddite.
Yeah, it should be on some sort of group doc.
This
thing,
should not
but
be
it's
an
not.
unsolvable problem. I got to be honest.
So my computer, as everybody, I actually got a text from Freddie Prinze Jr. Who says this about computers. If you didn't beat the holy hell out of your laptop, it wouldn't be broken. Just saying. I am hard on computers.
Well, the way that he put it to me today when he told me that he had lost his laptop was, this one lasted a really long time. It lasted me 2.5 years.
That seems like a long time.
For
Is
a
that
laptop?
not a long time?
No. I mean, if you don't spend all day and night like physically punching your computer like you do, they last longer than 2.5 years.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't take it into the bathroom and have all the, all the particles going into it.
No, I've got here's the good thing. I've got a backup computer. I always have a second computer in case the first one quits. So I've got.
Are they synced?
That's what I don't know. They've got to be synced. Otherwise, I don't have Game of Games. What are we going to do about Game of Games?
You said you were going to put one together.
Invent something?
Yeah.
Invent something. Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
You say that you're
During
so great
breaks.
on the fly.
That worked so great with Ramona.
It worked really well. She was fully paying attention.
Ramona,
the
the day
time.
Ramona was in here, and she said, I got to rework this game. She was just off in her. I would say things like, hey, you in on this question? You want to take this one on?
I mean, with Momo, too, because her games are always something of a dice roll.
They are something. They are something. All right, so we got a couple of calls here. Let's go to Brandon in Inglewood. Brandon, you're on 710. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Mace? Thanks for taking my call. Hey, but look, name a team. I got a question for you. Name a good team that the Lakers haven't been competitive against.
A good team.
They haven't been competitive.
I'm trying to think. Andy, a good team that they haven't been competitive.
You mean it like Phoenix?
Celtics. Phoenix last night,
Right,
but I don't think that even counts, does it?
No, they were competitive against the Celtics. They beat Milwaukee.
Denver.
They were competitive. They've beaten Denver. They were competitive against the Sixers until overtime things went off the rails.
Right. Yeah, overtime has not been good to us.
No.
But you're right. What's your point, Brandon?
So my point is that the Lakers have been competitive. They obviously need another piece, right? And it's not about Anthony Davis. We understand Anthony Davis is hurt, but this is about LeBron James, the end of his career. You know, Rob Pelinka has to do right by him. You know, he has to do right by LeBron. And I know this thing could drag out, obviously, because LeBron might have 2 more years left, whatever. But, you know, you got to put a roster around him and give him a chance, man. I mean, it's close in the West. It's close. You could make an argument that the Lakers could possibly, you know, make the playoffs, maybe even get a first-round upset. And I think if Rob wants to put that on his resume, that's a great opportunity. Hey, you salvaged a season and you got the team to be competitive. I think that's important. I mean, you know, he obviously wants to look down the line and have his job for a long time. And I think a year like this will help him, right? It's not going to be a championship year
you would make a trade. You would move draft picks in order to bring in talent.
Yes. I mean, especially if I'm a GM, I mean, that job is not, you know, it's not super secure. It's not a super secure job anyway, man. I mean, you got to be thinking about how am I going to add as much to my resume as I can to justify staying.
Well, I think Brandon raised a really interesting point here when he talked about, you know, thanks, Brandon, like a first round upset.
Yeah.
Like the idea of knowing why you're making this trade in the first place and what the baseline for the trade is. Because if the baseline is the Lakers have to become a front-running contender, that trade doesn't exist. Like the foundation is not there for this team right now, especially with AD out at minimum close to the deadline. You know, we're going to be inching up to the deadline by the time he's hopefully even back. The Lakers are multiple games below 500. It's not realistic to be looking for that, you know, front-runner contention deal. But if you're looking for a trade that makes them legit competitive so they can just go out there and compete, let the chips fall where they may, that's more realistic. I just don't always know if that's how this front office thinks.
No. It's interesting about LeBron, too, in this situation, because LeBron says none of this is a question for him. He sort of wants to get away from the idea. This was what LeBron was asked by Jovan Buha. Jovan, sorry. I say it so much, I'm surprised I didn't get it right. Here he says, he was asked about the roster, applying pressure. He says, not a question for me. I have no idea when I'm playing. I show up, prepare, go to work, and get my guys ready to go win a basketball game. I play the game. I'm not in the front office, so we'll see. But I'm focused on the game and us trying to win basketball games, especially when I'm out on the floor. So he's fighting this idea that he's the guy, even though he's the guy.
Well, he doesn't like the perception of the GM.
Right.
When things aren't going well.
Correct.
When things are going great, remember, he reminded us all the time he brought in Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Like, he got AD to this team. Like, you know, he was aware of Austin Reeves since, like, Hillbilly Kobe was 14 years old. You know, he scouts these young guys when things are going well. Like, he doesn't like the idea of the puppet master when
Right.
it's not going well.
Right, and he is. I mean, just look at the number of clutch guys on the team. He and Rich are huge parts
look,
of the decision-making process.
You bring up clutch. In my opinion, the only reason Cam Reddish is so frequently linked to the Lakers.
Cam Reddish is the clutch guy.
Yeah, I mean, because what has he done in the league so
right,
far?
I mean, I every time I see it, I'm like,
Yeah, like he looks the part. Like he looks like a guy who should be an incredible basketball player.
Yeah.
Like he's okay.
He's just okay.
Right, but because he's a clutch guy, he is continually linked to the Lakers. I can't think of another reason.
Yeah. Let's go to Jason and Downey. Jason, you're on 710. What's up, man?
So first off, you have a backup laptop, Mace. That is bougie as hell, brother. Definitely are
Wow.
laptop.
Yes, thank you, man.
Good call,
you're
Jason.
Absolutely right. A backup laptop is completely bougie. It may be the bougiest thing I do.
Nice call.
Yeah, good. Thanks for calling me out, Jason. I appreciate that.
All good, brother. But listen, all season I was hell-bent on them trading those picks. We needed help to at least keep us afloat, especially when they were 2-10. But now that we desperately need it, I need them to hold off on them because the Laker tax is real, and they're going to try and fleece them for whatever they have and more, especially when we know that AD is out for a long period of time. So it's kind of a little too late. So they need to just hold on to those picks and try to get something much better. Have a good day, guys.
Okay, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, that's a way to go.
It's interesting. This
They're right on the cusp of should we or shouldn't we?
last week when Ireland and I were talking about this, he asked about Bogdanovich, and
I like Bogdanovich a lot.
He asked if I would give up a first rounder for him. I said, yeah. He asked, what about two? If you wanted to outbid someone, I said, no. Bogdanovich is not worth 2 first-round picks unless you're bringing in like Sadiq Bey with him or something like that.
Right.
No way. Ireland, of course, said he would or whatever. But the idea of an overpay is also really interesting. Like if the Lakers were one of the best teams in the West right now,
right,
in a wide open West, and you felt like, okay, they're like one piece away, you could rationalize to yourself, all right, we're overpaying for Bogdanovich,
right,
but F it, man.
Sure.
We're this close.
Yeah.
The Lakers are not close enough right now where you would think about an overpay being justified.
Yeah, I don't think they're in that spot. And by the way, the other thing is it's dangerous to trade from desperation.
Yep.
Everybody knows the Lakers want whoever that guy is, and they will pay a Laker tax because they know the Lakers are in they're in kind of a desperate position. All right, coming up next for you, I saw Avatar.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw Avatar. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Bergman, Avatar?
No, but I want to see it.
Jorge?
No, not yet.
Okay. We'll talk about that coming up. I've got a lot of thoughts about it, plus some movies that are coming out this year, the ones that are most anticipated. Is that Avatar? What? Where'd that come from? Was that me? Oh, that was me.
That was you, man.
What is that?
Oh no, you guys are pushing buttons today.
Yeah, I don't know what
It's
that
a
was.
themed Avatar
It was
too.
it's kind of a bet. Yeah,
That's what I thought,
if
for
you
real.
haven't seen Avatar, there's the theme music. We'll do that coming up. Mason in Ireland. Andy's in for John.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPN LA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets. React to the Lakers on ESPN LA app.
Download the new ESPN LA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
What color is Rudolph's nose? Come on, Keith.
It's red.
It's red. There you go. Who did Michael Jackson see kissing Santa Claus?
His mother.
No, mommy.
Mommy.
I saw mommy.
A mother, but I
kissing
said mother,
Santa
mommy,
Claus.
same thing.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. Mommy, mother, kissing Santa
it's
Claus.
mommy. It's not mother.
Well, it's the same thing.
How do you say Merry Christmas in Spanish?
Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, that's right. Feliz Navidad. I knew that in elementary school. What am I thinking?
You worked with producer Jorge for years. He taught you? He taught you? Name Santa's reindeers. Oh, boy.
Oh, God, yeah. So you got Rudolph, Pixar or somebody like that? Blixen.
Donner?
No, not the Donner.
No?
No. Oh. No. Blixer or Flixer or something.
We got Rudolph.
Flixer. Man, I don't remember.
Finish the lyrics. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know.
My Christmas. No, my Mariah Carey.
Yeah, but finish the lyrics.
All I want
for you Christmas is you. Yeah, Mariah. I knew it was Mariah.
Good job, Keith.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and thanks for tuning in each and every single morning on 710 ESPN.
This is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. This is Mason and Ireland on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
There she is, the Queen of Christmas, self-proclaimed Queen of Christmas.
Kind of feels like she does own this holiday, to be honest.
She does.
This song is everywhere.
You know, it's in Love Actually.
Of course it is.
Do you watch Love Actually?
I think it's good.
We watch it every year.
I'm not a freak about it like Ireland, but I think
Ireland takes it a little too far.
Yes.
But we watch it every year. Jorge, have you watched it?
Nope. Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Jorge, what is wrong with why? Are you against the Christmas spirit? Are you anti-love?
No, not anti-love.
He watches Jingle All the Way and calls it a holiday.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. And now he watches Spirited. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mace.
I'm going to watch Spirited. Bergman, you've seen Love Actually, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's not one of my favorites, and it's 100% cheating. And I
no,
think
it's not 100%.
It is
100.
Yeah, I'm not doing the conversation again, Amanda. Don't worry.
I'm tired of the conversation because I was right about it the first time.
No, you're never right about it at all. But either way,
Amanda, are
it's
you
just
a
not
Love
all that
Actually
great.
person?
So I've seen it multiple times, but it's not one of those that I have to watch it every year at Christmas time.
Nope, totally fake love.
Is it really all about
in love with his
you think
assistant?
It is fake if you fall in love this time of year?
I feel like you get caught up in the holiday spirit and, not wanting to be alone. And
so you're clinging to
so
somebody.
I feel like
that
a lot of times people, meet people this time of year because they're just looking for that, companionship for the holidays. No, that's different. That's somebody who's been in a relationship, Jorge. I'm talking about I feel like a lot of people, and this is speaking from people that I know, it's like, they don't want to be alone for the holidays, so.
And it's a boozy time of year.
It is a boozy time.
It is a boozy.
But there's a
which
name
then
for
turns
this.
into touching.
Mm-hmm.
There's a name for this. It's called cuffing season.
Yeah,
it's cuffing season.
Cuffing?
So you cuff to somebody because
Yeah.
it's cold outside, so that you have somebody to cuddle with during the cold. So you're cuffing with them.
And then when the
Cuffing
spring
season.
comes, you say,
bye.
The
Bye.
love lost.
Then you're out and you go do your thing.
Yeah.
It ends.
I did not know that, but it does make sense. This is the kind of season where you really cling to somebody because nobody really. By the way, you can be
You're not going
totally
out.
fine alone, right? We're not saying that if you're single, that's not.
Hey, I'm single. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's
you're
fine.
doing fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though. Holidays can be a really harsh reminder of being alone.
Yeah.
I think
That's true.
holidays
That's
can
true.
really, really make people feel like there's something wrong with them
It's
for
a
being
hard
alone.
time for some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love Actually. I think back to that. Love Actually, I think, is a movie.
Good about that though. Like, even,
What are you talking about?
well, okay, look, there's a guy. There's one of the guys buys a gift for his assistant instead of for his wife, and then they try and get back together at the end.
There are two storylines that end south.
And sadly, well, then there's the guy that like falls in love with somebody he doesn't even know how. They can't even talk to each other.
Right, and they run away together at the end.
And her parents are trying to sell her for like a cow or a pig or something.
It's a
I mean,
joke.
come
It's
on.
funny.
What are we
It's funny.
doing here?
What's the one with Jude Law and